Welcome to Shadow Tales. Here, you'll hear the strangest stories from people around the internet. So get comfortable and let yourself be carried away by these dark testimonies. Hey fellow Redditors, I can't believe I'm writing this right now. You know those creepy stories about no clipping into weird alternate dimensions or liminal spaces? Well, let me tell you, I think I just experienced something like that, and it's been a nightmare. It all started innocently enough. I was just messing around with some old video game glitches, trying to no-clip through walls like we used to do in the games back in the day. I'd heard stories about people stumbling into alternate realities through these glitches, but I never really believed them, until now. Last night I was goofing off with a game I hadn't touched in years. I managed to glitch through a wall, and suddenly I was standing in a dimly lit hallway. At first, I thought it was just a weird game glitch, but then I noticed something was off. The hallway stretched out way longer than it should have, and the lights were flickering with a faint, ominous buzz. It hit me. I was in some kind of liminal space, the legendary Backrooms that people talked about. I know, it sounds crazy. I wish it was, but the dread that washed over me was all too real. It's like my gut knew I wasn't supposed to be there. The walls were painted this sickly shade of yellow, and the air felt damp and heavy. There was this constant, unsettling hum that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. I had no idea how I got there or how to get back to the game, but I knew I needed to find a way out. I started walking down the endless hallway, hoping to find an exit or a way back to the game world. The lights continued to flicker, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance along the walls. Every step I took echoed through the corridor, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me from the darkness, just beyond the edges of the flickering light. Time seemed to lose all meaning. I couldn't tell if I had been walking for minutes or hours. It was like the hallway was playing tricks on my perception, making everything feel distorted and unreal. And then, just as I was starting to panic, I saw a doorway up ahead. I rushed towards it, heart pounding in my chest. But as I got closer, something was off. The door seemed to lead to nowhere, just an empty void beyond it. It was like a trap, a mocking invitation to step into nothingness. I froze, my mind racing, and then I heard it. A faint whisper echoing from the darkness beyond the door. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone was desperate, pleading. My instinct screamed at me to turn back, to get as far away from that door as possible. But curiosity got the better of me. I took a step closer, and suddenly, the whisper grew louder, more urgent, filling my ears like a haunting melody. I don't know how long I stood there, transfixed by that door and the whisper that seemed to wrap around my mind. All I knew was that I couldn't resist its pull any longer. With a mix of dread and anticipation, I stepped through the doorway. And then, all hell broke loose. The darkness swallowed me whole, and I was plunged into a nightmarish abyss. Shapes and shadows writhed around me, and the whisper became a cacophony of voices, each one more agonized than the last. It was like I was drowning in the collective fear and despair of countless lost souls. I tried to scream, to fight my way out, but the darkness was suffocating, and the voices grew louder, more desperate. I felt like I was being torn apart, my mind unraveling under the weight of it all. And then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. I found myself back in my room, drenched in sweat, gasping for air. I was back in the game, back in my reality. But the memory of what I'd experienced in that liminal space, in the back rooms, still lingered. I don't know what happened, or if I'll ever be able to forget those haunting whispers and the suffocating darkness. But I needed to share this with you all, to warn you about the dangers of no clipping into places you don't understand. The backrooms are real, and they're more horrifying than any of us could have ever imagined. Stay safe out there, and please, whatever you do, don't try to explore those twisted corridors of reality.